Welcome, everybody. My voice is loud, sorry. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I know you're expecting Pam to begin. I'll give her a moment in a minute. I was really delighted when Stuart Firestein asked me whether the Italian Academy would like to co-sponsor this afternoon's event on the human sense of smell and to host it here. I was delighted not just because Stuart's a friend or because PSSN has become such a success, but for three quite specific reasons. Firstly, though many of you already have been here for one reason or another, for operas, for music, for science, for engineering, for neuroscience, others will perhaps not have. Some of you may indeed have come to our regular seminars on neuroscience and the humanities. Others may have attended our long-standing conferences which have brought distinguished neuroscientists to Columbia, such as the last one on the default mode network, the one before that on neuroscience and music, the one before that on vision, attention and emotion, the one before that on neurotechniques, which first brought optogenetics and new optical scanning techniques to Columbia, and then, of course, the many symposia which we've held in this very room on art and neurosciences. So those of you who are new to Columbia will not have been here, but those are some precedents. But the one thing we haven't covered, well, okay, there are several, but the one thing we haven't covered in our main fields of embodiment, emotion, and sensory motor responses has been olfaction. It's entirely appropriate, given all our joint multimodal concerns, that we should be attending for once, but at last, to the dominant role of smell in cross-modal processes of flavor perception, as I suspect Stuart put it in the flyer for today's event. This is a topic which, like many others, we've neglected far too much over the years, and it's one which, as even he would admit, is far too high, not he, Stuart, but the he I'm coming to, is far too high level for our distinguished Nobel Prize winner, Richard Axel. I remember once talking to him many years ago about the possibility of neuroscience talking about emotion, or neuroscience talking about smell, and said, impossible, too high level. So that's sort of where we long were with neuroscience at Columbia. So today's symposium will be a landmark, both for us and for Columbia. Thank you, Stuart, and thank all of you for being here. Secondly, as some of you know, so this is coming to a second personal important motive. Secondly, as some of you know, but certainly not all, I had a go at running the famous Warburg Institute in London over the last 2 years. And although I succeeded in bringing a whole team of neuroscientists to a profoundly humanist institute, who was my greatest supporter, friend, encourager, and abettor? Who stood by me as I brought in neuroscience, but also as I tried to explain the ways in which that great A.B. Warburg himself, the second humanist of the 20th century alongside Walter Benjamin, the ways in which A.B. Warburg himself sought to understand the biological and proprioceptive bases of human culture. Not, of course, an Englishman or a Scotsman, but a great Irishman, brought up as so many of his confrères in Glasgow. I'm referring, of course, to Barry Smith. I could not be... You're Scottish. He said he's Scottish. Oh, no, I've slandered the Scottish. It's all those Glaswegian Irishmen whom I liked, let's put it this way, over the years. I could not be more grateful to him. And so it's not only for Stuart that I'm happy this conference is happening, and to be hosting this conference, but for Pamela Smith and also for Barry, who, as you will soon hear, is one of our bravest, most articulate and wittiest philosophers, still don't believe he's Scottish, in the entire interdisciplinary field in which we are all laboring. So welcome, Barry, and welcome, of course, to all of you. So one third reason, most important reason, is we're delighted to be able to co-sponsor this event because I think it marks a new step in that very rare thing, cooperation between institutes at Columbia. And in this case, the project is both justified and even more rarely grounds for optimism. For what can be more important than to better understand the use of techniques from other fields in the disciplines we know best, than to acknowledge the importance of interactions between the humanities, the social sciences, and the cognitive neurosciences, than to unpack the role of biology in culture, For vice versa, of course, we know well enough. We are joined in a terrific project and look forward to hatching more plans, enabling more events, and promoting and encouraging innovative and exciting research across the boundaries, unpoliced, as Warburg would have said, by the border guards of our disciplines that keep our work from being as exciting as I hope this afternoon's event will be. Thanks all for being here. Pamela, I think you